Good day, everybody. Here we are again for more Eric Beyer, son of a silver stacker, Joe McBride, Tim Morrell, farm dog, Jeff Dunn. Couldn't get enough of me the first time, or the second time. So here we are again. We're going to have fun going through this 1942 Philadelphia roll. It's Philadelphia roll this time, Denver roll next time. Let me get this stack of coins moved out of my way here real quick. Get my keyboard out of my way. Get my tray out here for my roll. And here's my names. And here's my bag. And I'm ready to move, rock and roll here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get the coins out. I'm not going to get started until right on the hour, though. I'm going to mix these little guys up real good. Here in the wind tunnel, and here in about 15 minutes, you're probably going to hear the garage door. Yep, this is an H.E. Harris tube. H.E. Harris tubes are really bad about holding on to the last coin in the roll. I would not recommend buying H.E. Harris tubes ever. That's what they say on the end of them. H.E. Harris. They have a 1 on them. Turn it around where it's right side up. There we go. H.E. Harris. They have a 1 on the end of the roll. Don't buy those. They like to hang on to the last coin in the roll. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. They can't make rolls the right size. Notice this, right? I gotten this coin out of here earlier. Yeah, H.E. Harris rolls are garbage. Here we go. So now you know what tubes not to get. This one's going in the garbage now. I have no interest in keeping that roll in my house. No interest at all. Okay, here we are. Welcome back. Now we got Thomas, Adam Chambers, Sir Reg, Jeff Dunn, Farm Dog, Joe McBride, son of a silver stacker, Eric Beyer. I wonder how fast I could say all of your names. I'm going to go ahead and get started now. It's right at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And Yeoman Gull gets the first coin in the roll. This is the first coin in the roll. Now we've got a number of double dies from minor to major to be looking for. Everything from minor double die lids to major double dies on the obverse and the reverse. You've also got double dies in the center of the reverse to be looking for. I like to look right through the center of 1942 Philadelphia before I look at anything else on the reverses. I have found a number of the centrally located double dies on 1942 Philadelphia, but they've always been uncirculated coins. If I found an uncirculated one, it'd be the very first one I have ever found. So there's nothing on that one. That's coin number 1 for Yeoman Gull. Now for coin number 2. Hey, Hawkeye, Kevin Speaks, Sissy Atwell. Sissy, you back in Florida now? Are you at home going through your rolls? Let's see what we got here. This one's from Mike Birchman. Yeah, I'm working a little bit extra hard this week, next week, and the week following because I'm trying to go to closing on my house with a substantial check for my closing costs. We're going to have to roll some of it into the loan on the house, but I told Mama I'd do what I could to make enough money to pay for the closing costs. I don't know that that's going to happen, but we're going to give it a shot. No, some of the appliances convey, so we'll just keep them, but we're probably going to replace them eventually. But right off the bat, we're not going to change anything. I don't think we have to worry about a soft water system here. The water's pretty good here. It was horrible in Florida. But it was pretty good here. Almost to Mom's house now. I don't think this is well water. It's treated water. Let's see what we got on the reverse side of this one. Yeah, it's been the worst water we ever had. We actually ordered bottled water, and they showed up once a month with bottles full of water. Because you couldn't drink the water that came out of the tap. It was horrible. Hawkeye! Kevin Speaks. What's going on, buddy? And here we go through another roll. Isn't that right? So I got Shannon McCord for coin number 4. Shannon McCord. Let's take a look at Shannon's coin, see what we get. There's some pretty nice 1942 Lincoln cents here. Haven't found anything for die varieties yet, but man, I'm really hopeful on this roll. I've been kind of skunked out lately. Kind of like the water here in North Carolina. It's okay. Oh, the tube? No, Wanda. This is it's a penny tube. It's just an H.E. Harris tube. H.E. Harris tubes are horrible. Don't like them. Never have liked them because they are too small for the coins. But just barely. Just enough that it hangs on to the last 1 or 2 coins in the roll. Everything else comes out fine. Yeah, nothing here so far. He brings his crushed water from New York. Wow. Does he fly up there and get water and just come back? Have somebody mail it to him? Mailing somebody water so they can make a good pizza? Hello, Florida. There's something wrong with that. This one's a little spotty. Just a little bit spotty. I've been seeing some good markers for anything, should we actually happen to find something worth getting markers for. Maybe this coin's just a little extra beat. Looks like a minor class 6 double die reverse around De Pluribus. Yep, we do have a minor class 6 double die reverse. You can see it there at the top of the wheat lines. You can see it going across most of the lettering. You got a little bit of an egg shape to the dot between the S and the U there. And then you've got another bit of a egg-shaped dot over on the E, but it's not as much. Let's take a look. Central area, nothing there as expected, but we've got one here that's got a little better separation on the right side than on the left, especially right up in this area. So we have ourselves a minor double die reverse. Minor double die reverse on coin number 6 for Bulldog. Now see if I can get it photographed and get it listed. That's going to be die number 1 for the roll, though. And a minor double die reverse for Bulldog. Let me move on to coin number 7. Paul Hampton. Paul Hampton gets coin number 7. This is coin number 7. And coin number 7 is a normal obverse. And we have a normal reverse as well. So normal obverse and a normal reverse. Coin number 7 for Paul Hampton. Get that done and get it. Bag tagged in the stack, ready for the next coin. Deanne. Deanne gets the next one. Let's see what it is. Looks normal on the obverse. Let's take a look at the reverse. Nope. Nothing here. Sorry about that, Deanne. Go ahead and get Wanda Williams added in as a moderator so she doesn't look all strange and weird and gray. She's been here a couple of times now and has not disrupted anything, so she's not a troll. It's sad that you have to vet people who come into a chat room, that they're not going to disrupt everyone so that you can allow them to return. Midnight Silver Run. Missed on which roll, buddy? We've done a lot of rolls. Not sure which one you're talking about. I could give you a response to it. Because I do remember what we got out of most of the rolls. All of them this week. Well, let's see. How many have I done? Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far. This will be number 6. Let's see, the 63D roll turned out to be not much of anything. The 72D roll turned out to be not much of anything. The 45D roll had a really nice double die obverse, I believe. And 1 RPM, I believe. The 63 Philadelphia roll turned out to be not much of anything. The 44D roll was okay. The 71D roll didn't have anything in it, and the 1960D roll had a couple of examples of a few different RPMs in it. Other than that, nothing. Now we're doing the 42P roll. So far in this roll, we've been through 9 coins. We're going to coin number 10, and we have found 1 example of a minor double die reverse. How's that for a memory? Memories. I have so few of them. Yeah, we've pulled a number of dud rolls this week. That's just not a good thing. I don't like doing that. But, you know, in the world of coin roll hunting, you really can't predict what you're going to pull. You just have no idea. And if they turn out to be complete duds for an entire week, then well, they just do. You do the best you can to pick good rolls from good sources. Who knows where they came from originally, though? It could be pretty much anything. I mean, the rolls look nice. The coins look nice. I don't check them for varieties or anything until we get them under the scope. And I don't ever put the coins under the scope beforehand, so I have no idea. Everything I see is going to be a total surprise to me, just like it's going to be a total surprise to you. Good and bad. That's coin number 11 now. Moving on to coin number 12. Coin number 12 will go to Sir Reg. And this is coin number 12. big old thick hair there. Pretty late dice state, normal reverse. Moving on now to coin number 13. Coin number 13 will go to Dennis Paulson. And a lot of these coins are toned down just a little bit. They're kind of a off red, not a whole lot of luster. It's kind of a semi-luster roll. That can happen with 1942 for sure. It's a very old roll of coins. Got nothing on that one, so we're going to move on to the next one. It's coin number 13. Take a look now. We're going to bring out coin number 14, see what it is. Hello, Cheap Chinese. It's Dennis Paulson again. Do we get lucky? No, sir. Not on the obverse. Let's take a look at the reverse. See if there's anything on the reverse that we need to talk about. No, sir. Nothing extraordinary on the reverse. So that's Dennis Paulson's coin number 14. Let's take a look at coin number 15 now. Brought to you by John Brandon Bow. Oh. We do have a double die. Let's see how extensive it is. Then I'll go back and look. It looks like it's just in the date. There's a little bit of it in Liberty as well. See if I can get it to show up. I can see it. I know for sure it's there. Okay. Let me see if I can bring it in and show it to you. See the split right along the bottom of the E? You see the split in the center of the B? Along the bottom of the B? You can see it on the bottom of the R. That T is awful thick, and so is the Y. But if you look over here, where I noticed it first was in the date. Look at the bottom of the 9. See the inside of the 4? And then the 2. So we have a double die. Decent double die obverse there. This is not machine doubling. This is a double die. It is actually adding to the overall thickness of the letters at large. Too many characteristics for it to not be a double die. Take a look up here and see if I can see anything. I didn't see anything the first time around. It doesn't necessarily mean we don't have it. It just means I didn't see it. So yeah, we don't have it. Let's take a look at the bottom of the vest. Bottom of the coat, bottom of the vest. It doesn't look like we really have anything here. Nothing big and special in those areas, but we do have doubling on the date. You can see it there at the bottom of the 4. You can see it at the bottom of the 2, on the outside edge of the 2. Definitely a double die. Look at the R. There you can see it. The center of the R is thicker than it should be, as is the center of the C. Of the E, I mean. That's not a C, Chuck. Go back to grammar school. Learn something about the... Oh, the R of trust? Is that what you're wanting to look at? Right here? Yeah, there's not much of anything there. I don't see anything in trust on this particular... Well, that could be doubling at the top of the U. But I'm sticking to the areas where I know I've seen the doubling here today. And that's going to be here on Liberty. You can see it especially well. I'm going to try to tip this in the right direction so that we can see it really well, or as best possible. There it is. The R, the bottom of the E, the bottom of the B, and the middle of the B also shows it. So this is a rather minor but decent double die. We're going to go flip back out a little bit so we can see it in full view. There it is. Now can you see it better? Especially on the 2. Should be able to see it pretty well on the 2. I'm going to have to go through the rest of the coins in this roll because it's something that I could possibly have skipped on other coins, so I just want to be sure. Of course, I go through the rolls twice anyway. Once with you guys and once by myself. While I'm listening to unnamed musical selections that would get me in trouble with YouTube if I went and told you what I listened to, but it's mostly classic rock. And that's coin number 15, which is going to turn out to be die number 2 for the roll so far. We've got a minor class 6 double die reverse, and we've got a class 2 double die obverse. Now Sureg for coin number 16. Let's see what coin number 16 brings us. See, this one's not the same. Not a double die. That's why you guys pay me. Because I'm the one who finds this stuff. You might even skip right by something like that. Oh, yuck. We got spots. Spots on the coin. I don't like spots on my coin. Alright, that's coin number 16. It's a normal coin. It goes to Sureg. You think I'm a stones guy? How about if I don't tell you? Or maybe I could just tell you a little fib and throw you off in the wrong direction. Now see, once I've said that, it doesn't matter what I say, you can't believe me. I could say it's, Creedence Clearwater Revival. I could say it's Kenny Rogers. You wouldn't know one way or the other. Heck, you don't know. Kenny might be my favorite singer ever. Then again, he might be somebody I only heard on the radio once or twice and don't really care who he was. You don't know. Hey, Time Travelers Coin Exchange, how are you doing today? Got everybody gathered around the teapot here watching it boil. Never said I didn't like Kenny Rogers, but I didn't say I did either. So there we go. Adam Chambers. Adam Chambers comes up next. Looking around Adam's coin for one of those nifty little double dies, and it just isn't there on the obverse. So we're going to have to flip it over to the reverse and take a look on the reverse and see if we found anything there. You guys may never know. I may like country music too. They're like, oh, no, I don't think he likes country. No, I don't think he's not the kind. Never know. Never know, brother. I might be country through and through. Skinnerd? Why would you say Skinnerd? So you're going to give me 2 steps? Are you going to go visit with Curtis Lowe? He was a blind man. White curly hair. You may or may not know him. I live in the South, yeah, but I'm not from the South. I'm from Missouri. That's not really the South. Of course, I lived my entire childhood in Tennessee, so, or most of my childhood. Most of my second childhood was in Florida. Now I'm an adult and I'm in North Carolina. You know you're an adult when you see things going on around the neighborhood you don't like and you call the police just to talk to them about it. Well, is this against the law? Well, how about this? Well, can you pick them up on a charge for this? Yeah, it's not actually true, but I did call the police today. I called the police to come check out a car that was in the kiddie parking lot, the parking lot to the playground, which is 2 houses down from mine. And this car parked in the lot there had a lady bouncing up and down in the back seat, and the car was kind of vibrating, moving a little bit. Of course, I didn't really care what was going on, but you shouldn't be doing that next to a playground. Led Zeppelin? Do you really think I like Led Zeppelin? What makes you think I like Led Zeppelin? You have to remember, Joe, I just moved to North Carolina. I don't really even know much of anything about the state. Hey, we've got another double die here, I do believe. Let me take a better, quicker look at it here. Yep, it's a double die. You can see it on the outside edge of the wheat lines. You can see it on the upper part of the M of Unum. Let's see, where else can we see it, if at all. I think this is going to turn out to be the same as the die number 1. It's just a little bit better example that shows the doubling a little better. But we can definitely find out by looking for that die scratch next to the A. That thing that looks like a little straight comma. Let's take a look on our die number 1 coin, which belongs to Bulldog. Let's take a look on there and see if we have that die scratch next to the A, and then I'll be convinced. No, sir, we don't. We don't have the die scratch, and in fact, there's a die crack down here in the lower wheat that tells me for sure that those 2 coins are not from the same die. So I'm going to give Bulldog back his coin, and then Joe McBride's coin number 21 is going to be a new die. It's going to be a new double die reverse for this roll. So we're going to have 3 dies now for this roll. We've got 2 double die reverses and a nice double die obverse. And Kevin Speaks will get the next coin. Here is the next coin for the roll. And nothing so far, boys and girls. Let's take a look at the reverse. Of course, I also called the police a few days back. Here's a scenario for you. You tell me what you think. Because my wife told me I was a little bit overreacting. Okay, so I go outside, get in the car, go to the post office, take care of my business. I'll come back home, and I back into the driveway, toward the end of the driveway, because we have a 2-car garage and 3 cars. And I'm the one who parks outside. So I parked at the end of the driveway, and there's a bush next to the end of the driveway. And I go over and I look because I saw something at the corner of my eye while I was backing in. And there's a hat there. It's a ball cap for Crossroads cars here in North Carolina. And a pair of glasses that I only noticed a little bit later were actually trifocals. And I kind of back up a little bit and I look, and I had been standing basically in a dried pool of blood. Blood and blood spatter all over the driveway in the front of my car. So I called the police. No, not a cut. That's a stain on the coin. That little guy right there, yeah, that's just a stain on the coin. Nothing more than that. Good eye, though. So I called the police and had them come out, and I said, you know, guys, if there's something going on, foul play or whatever, you may not be able to solve the case without knowing what's going on in my driveway. So they came, they checked the blotter, they couldn't find anything. Ends up, they went over to the neighbor's house, and the neighbor had fallen. He's an old man. He had fallen outside, and he decided to right himself and kind of give himself a little bit of a rest on the hood of my car. So he bled on my driveway and on my car. There's another one of the double dyes right there. You can see it. You see it at the bottom of the 2 and the bottom of the 4. Definitely another double dye. It's the same one. It's the dye number 2, the double dye obverse that we pulled. And here you can see it at the bottom of the letters in Liberty. So we'll check the reverse on this one, but probably not really a need to. But anyhow, I kind of thought that was really strange. I mean, I ended up calling the police to get them to come out to take a look at a pool of blood, a pair of glasses, and a hat that were left basically underneath my car at the end of the driveway. So I'm thinking, well, that's just not good. So I thought that was, I think, just very odd. I think it just very odd. CM Silver's next, coin number 25. This will be the middle of the roll. The middle of the road. Okay, I'm not seeing anything on the obverse. Let's take it over to the reverse and see what's on the reverse. And nothing there either. Roll reveal number 164. The 1971 D roll was done this morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. It's already up there. Should be up on the channel. And for those of you who do know what I'm talking about, I will be invoicing directly after this show for the remaining rolls that have been sold yesterday and today. This one's for Sissy Atwell. It's a normal one. I remember seeing this die before. Well, bums. Nice little, nearly a full rim-to-rim die crack, which probably eventually became a retained cud, and then possibly even a cud. But at this point, it's just a die crack. It's nothing big. A lot of those happen. These are nice red coins. There's a number of pretty nice coins in here so far. There have been a few coins that are a little dull, though. Kind of dull for my taste. Not damaged, not messed up, not brown, just kind of dull. Raised dragon scales all around the rim on the front and back of the coin. Scaling, I mean, at best I can guess it was probably in some sort of machine or someone was trying something on it. This looks like it was the end roll coin of this roll. It has substantial toned center area. That's Mike Birchman for you. There's the reverse. And it doesn't appear that we found anything of any real remarkable value on this coin. Hey, there we go. I'm going to have to fire my camera here. It just keeps wanting to go to sleep on me. Crystallized copper. Or a planchet defect. Yeah, I don't know. but it looked natural. Huh, that's strange. Maybe you could figure out a way to get me some decent pictures of it. I'll take a look at it for you and see what I think. Here we go again. Because this is a tubed roll, there's no telling where your end coins are going to show up. Sometimes they leave them in the exact same order that they had been in when they tubed the roll, and other times they didn't. But it's obvious for this tubed roll they were only really looking for high-grade coins or something, because they skipped over some die varieties. Of course, then again, it isn't something everyone's going to notice, these particular die varieties. All right, so here's coin number 29 now. Son of a silver stacker. Son of a sea serpent. What do we have here? Well, it's normal so far. See, I do that and it gets your attention. Like, what do we have here? Oh, it's normal. No. If a die crack extends from the rim through the design back to the rim, at that point, it's just a die crack. Once the piece breaks and separates, if it's still in the chamber, minting coin, it's going to look like a thick separated die crack. That's a retained cud. Then only at the point that the piece totally breaks away from the die and you're minting nothing with that section of the die, do you have a cud. Mr. Pruitt. I hear that heat does a good job with those tubes that are shrunk down to the coins. I hear that's the case. Still waiting for more people to try it and report back and let me know what they found out. I had planned on buying a heat gun, just a regular heat gun. It looks like a hairdryer, but it's a thing that you use the shrink wrap plastic, and you can wrap packaging with it. I had planned on getting one of those at one point, but turns out they're not cheap, close to $100. Not something I want just to play around. Shannon McCord. What you're going to end up having to do is get it quite warm with a hairdryer or a heat gun. Heat gun, you can do it inside of probably 30 seconds. Hairdryer is going to take you 5 minutes or so. And shoot the hairdryer at it until it gets hot. When it gets hot, it'll expand, and you should be able to pour the coins right out of it. That's another tip brought to you by coppercoins.com. Aha. What you have there is a retained lamination peel. That's what you've got. It's a clamshell, basically. Clamshell is when a coin partially laminates and splits and doesn't split all the way through. Deanne comes next. What does Deanne have? I keep watching for my little famous double dies. There's some chance that could be a double eyelid, but I kind of doubt it. Looks a little too sharp and too small. Alright, nothing. Oh, let's see. Let me take a look at the center of the reverse. I'm going to pull it off a little bit too soon. That one has nothing on it. That's coin number 32. It's going to go to Deanne. Oh, really? Did they scored it in the middle of the tube and broke it open? I don't know that I'd want to do that. That just sounds like something that could damage the coins. I would rather try the heat method myself. Just saying. Nothing on the obverse. Let's check the reverse. This coin's reverse. I get myself into the habit of saying it that way. Be professional, Chuck. This coin's reverse. It just doesn't sound very professional. That's why I decided, I basically decided I needed to drop my accent when I was younger, simply because I knew that if I kept the accent that I had, I would sound less professional to some people. Because I had a pretty southern way of talking. And some people don't, I mean, you know, a lot of people behave like that's normal because it kind of is. But other people act like that for some reason. It is an instant detriment to your education. It's like, well, you know, he can't be college educated because he says ain't. Well, hate to tell you snobs, but there are a lot of people who say ain't who are college educated people. In fact, PhDs and doctors I know say ain't. I've got a voice that would melt butter. Well, I appreciate that. I worked real hard on it. All of 50 years. So Yo Man Gull gets coin number 34, and there's not really much of anything here. So we're going to move on to coin number 35, I'm sorry. Coin number 35 for Mike Birchman. Well, let's see. Let's see what we have here. Got nothing on the obverse. Let's take a look at the reverse real quick. Quickly. We have nothing on the reverse. 'Tis unfortunate. That's coin number 35 for Mike Birchman. Oh, YouTube is the new radio? I like that. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe I'll do a show someday. Yeah, I'll call it Mail Call. I'll have people send me pictures of coins. And then I'll find the answer to their question and broadcast it on Mail Call. I'll have visual aid and everything ready. How's that sound? How would you guys like to start something like that? I tried it weeks ago. Months ago, actually. A couple months ago. Haven't gotten any replies yet. No reply. Well, this will be Coppercoin's Mail Call. I'm not Sergeant Army. I don't have a voice like him either. Gunny Sergeant Army? Now, what do we have here? What is it, Private Pile? You gonna die on me? Well, do it now! There we go. Got another one of the double dies here. You can see the extra thickness in the 4 and in the 2. You can just see it there. And then if I move over to Liberty, you can see it there too. Especially if you've had any real experience looking at coins like this, you can see it in the top of the T, the center bar of the R, the center bar of the E, and the bottom of the B. It's just there. You can just see it. Pretty nice looking little double die. I'm sure this one's going to be listed with other people. Even if... Oh my gosh. Land of the Lost here. I am so sorry, Bulldog. I did not plan on seeing that today. Oh. I'll do what I can to restore that for you, make it as good as I can. Did get a double die, though. This is a DDO. It's die number 2 for the day. It's our third example of that double die so far. Now, Sir Egg. Coin number 38. And that's not one of the double dice. We do know we have an original roll here because we keep pulling the same dies over and over again. It's just sometimes the coins are not in the best condition. That was probably one of the end roll coins. I'm hoping it was. So we got nothing here for Sir Reg, except a 1942 Lincoln Cent. Pretty one, too. You gonna send me a flat rate box with 70 pounds of errors? I don't know, brother. Is it for me, or do I have to send them back? If it's for me, I'll look through them all day. If I have to send them back, you're gonna have to go on the back burner. Not many markers, but there's the only one. Variety Vista is something I don't generally use very much because he doesn't do much with markers. And markers are really, really important. So if you go to doubledie.com or doubleddies.com, I think whichever one it is that's Wexler's website, and you look at double die listings, and you look at wheat cent listings, and you look for 1945. Well, you find 1945, it'll bring up what he's got listed on there for 1945, and you may get lucky and find the same die. You dropped most of your accent being married to a Greek. What was it, a Greek accent? Because you know there are only two kinds of people in the world. There are Greeks and people who want to be Greek. Yeah, just flip them and verify them on. You'll pay for the return shipping. You're so nice. So very nice. Well, that's coin number 40 for you. Now we've got John Brandon Bowes coin in and out, and unfortunately not anything other than a normal 1942 Lincoln Cent. Windex, that's right. Spray a little Windex on it. It was kind of funny that when my ex-wife and I went to see that movie in the theater, and as soon as the guy asked, how do you say a greeting to a large group of people? And the cousin said, Echo Triarchidia. I knew exactly what that meant as soon as I heard it, and I started laughing. All the Americans around me were like, what? They didn't get it until after the joke was over, and then they started laughing. Echo Triarchidia means I have 3 balls. Not something you want to say to a family group of people. Okay, I just wanted to see what we had here. I couldn't remember. I've been talking too much. Can't keep track of the coins I'm going through. Now they say you sound like everyone else. Everyone thought you were Canadian. Where'd you come from, Eric? The reason all the people down there think you sound Canadian is because if you don't sound Southern, you must be Canadian. A lot of people from Quebec and Montreal or Quebec City and Montreal and Ontario, Ottawa, Toronto. A lot of people from those parts of the world. And it seems they all congregated on Western Florida. Nothing on this coin. Oh, you use a lot. Go get a beer, eh? Yeah, I can see where they would do that. Nah, I don't like Labatt's. Get a Molson. Eh? Detroit. So you're a Michigander. I spent most of my time as a child growing up with a best friend who was from Syracuse. That's upstate New York. To the people who don't know where Syracuse is, right near Oneida where they make the silverware. Right down the street from Joe McBride. And they moved to Memphis, Tennessee. You can imagine the difference. I was a Midwesterner, so I moved down there as a Midwesterner. I very slowly took on a Southern accent because it's just kind of normal when you're going through grade school and all your teachers talk like that. You eventually talk like that yourself. Well, he moved there in the 6th grade. And they moved there in the 6th grade. Of course, you sound really awkward, northern. And I said, where are you from? New York. Oh, okay. You're from New York. Yeah. Oh, my mom's here. Gotta go get in the car. Okay. Where are you all from? I am from Missouri, but I live in North Carolina. I originated in Missouri, but I grew up in Tennessee. Oneida Silver's not from Oneida anymore? Where is it from, China? Just a guess. Made in Taiwan? I tell you, New York is a pretty place. Pretty expensive. Yeah. Very, very expensive housing. Especially the closer to the city you get, the more expensive it gets. Atrocious pricing. Georgia peach. Greek by injection. Aposedenine fisiki elinida. In Americanida. They closed it. Well, hello, Spiked Head Die Crack. New York Slate is everywhere. Wonder if that's what Stonecutter did. Slate. I know he's from New York too. This was the end of the roll right here. This one got a rubber roller stuck. Kind of brandished, not brandished. Kind of burnished the planchet here. That's what all that black stuff is. It's from the roller. We do not have a double die here either. Ooh, leopard spots. Sometimes these things surprise me in a not so good way. Looks like a leopard frog. Ribbit. My house would be 3 times more there, and I would not be buying it. I'd live in a shack. You know, something for, I don't know, 300 grand. Yeah, no, if you want a decent house in New York, you got to be willing to put out a mill. Cool mill will get you a decent house. 3 or 4 mil will get you a real nice house. But who's got 3 or 4 mil to put down on a house, eh? There you go, Sierra. You're already washing off on me, eh? I remember when my friend from New York used a name that wasn't very nice to call a person who was, well, just being genuinely stupid. And when he said it, it made me laugh hard. I laughed for a while. He says, "You're just a retard." I said, "No, dude, it's a retard." He said, "No, he's a retard." That's what he said, retard. Wales and England are two different countries, son of a silver stacker. It's Wales, Great Britain, and England is in Great Britain. But Wales and England are two different countries. And they definitely don't like being called each other. It's like you look at somebody and you say, are you Welsh? Welsh? What makes you think I'm Welsh? Sounds like the Geico there. What do you think of that making me laugh? Don't make me laugh. Sissy gets coin number 49. You part Welsh? Yeah. Oh, look at that. A little struck through grease type thing, and then you still got just a little bit of the retention of the greasy stuff that it was struck through. That's a little leaf-shaped indentation in the coin. And it's because there was grease in that area. Grease and dirt impacted in that area. You can still see some of it right there on the coin. That's kind of cool. It's when you get a struck through, and then you actually get part of it retained into the coin. Oh, there we go. That's not bad at all, folks. Who's this, Sissy? Sissy got herself one. What is that? It looks like a little piece of wood or something. This was struck through. That's just wicked weird. Let's keep looking around. There's another piece of it right there. We have any more of this little strange anomaly going on this coin, or are we just going to have to settle with the lower half? Lower half of the reverse is covered in some sort of a struck through, some of it retained over here near the edge. This is very nice, folks. This is very nice. Really like this. This would be one of those $20, $30 errors at least. And that's coin number 49 for Sissy Atwell. There we go. Awesome. Had no idea I was going to run into that. That's for sure. Now we got coin number 50. The last coin of the roll is going to go to Dennis Paulson. Let's flip it and take a look at the obverse. Okay, it's not one of the double dies. Obverses, anyway. Let's take a look at the reverse and see if it matches any of our double die reverses. And I don't think it does. It does not. So that's what we have. Why it happens this way, I cannot tell you. But unfortunately and fortunately, we found a few double dies. Hey, John L. What's up, buddy? But what we ended up with in this roll is a big old stack of normal coins here. A big old stack. And then die number 1, which is a relatively minor double die reverse. I have one example known so far. It's coin number 6 going to Bulldog. Then die number 2 is the one that has the nice little double die in the date on the obverse. I have 3 coins. A really, really heavily spotted coin going to John Brandon Bow. I'm sorry, this one goes to Bulldog. And then coin number 24, which goes to Eric Beyer, and coin number 15 going to John Brandon Bow. And then for die number 3, we have another double die reverse. It's a little bit different than the first one. This one's coin number 21 going to Joe McBride. So that's what we have for this roll. Now, Sissy, you have to remember that there is a master die, double die for 1972 that shows on all 3 mints plus proof coins. It shows on about half of the coins minted that year. You have to make sure that's not what you're looking at. If you have a recut N in the word in, and the top of the B of Liberty is doubled more than anything else around it, then that is what you have. You have the master die double die, and it's not worth any premium. I just want to let you know right up front. Now, if it is an actual double die, you're not going to have the master die doubling. None of the listed double dies also have the master die doubling. So if it does not have a completely recut N of in, and it does not have more doubling in the top of the B of Liberty than any of the other letters around it, and you do still have doubling, it could actually be one of the listed double dies. That would be very exciting indeed. So here we are, folks. It's almost 6 o'clock, almost done with my show time. I appreciate you guys dropping by, and I'll be back at 9 p.m. this evening. 9 p.m. this evening to do the 1942 D-roll. I'll get these invoices sent out to you guys in the next half hour to an hour, so be watching for them, please. And I'll see you guys later. Have a great afternoon.